Good afternoon. This is Lance with a winter storm briefing from the National Weather Service Houston Galveston office. So an overview, this is our next winter storm, and for the most part it appears it's going to be freezing rain producing an ice storm across portions of our area. We believe that the freezing rain will begin this evening across western areas, and that freezing rain area will expand east overnight. It's looking like a significant ice event for those areas kind of along and northwest of a Columbus to Conroe to Cleveland line, where a quarter of an inch and greater is possible. This will cause additional power outages, icing on roadways, down limbs, and possibly some trees on power lines. We need to prepare for an ice storm, particularly the northwest half of southeast Texas, making travel nearly impossible late tonight through Wednesday night. Southern portions of our winter storm warning area will see additional travel impacts due to icing on area roadways. Ice accumulations in the southern portion of the warning area are closer to 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. And expect another hard freeze for all inland areas on Friday morning. We do still expect a significant warm up this weekend. So taking a look at weather conditions midday, we're seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 20s across much of the area, still close to 20 across northern areas. And this morning we saw College Station fall to 5 degrees, Huntsville to 3. The Houston area generally saw the lower teens, with Intercontinental Airport coming in at 13 degrees, and along the immediate coast it was close to 20 at Galveston. So here are our current warnings and advisories. Taking a look at southeast Texas, we have our winter storm warning for inland areas of southeast Texas, and it begins this evening and it continues to 6 a.m. Thursday. The main period of concern is 9 p.m. this evening until 3 p.m. tomorrow. So high temperatures for today. I've drawn in a freeze line there, kind of a dark gray, and you can see we do expect the Houston area to get near or just above freezing today. Northern portions of southeast Texas should stay below freezing. As far as tonight, the freeze line creeps back into the coastal counties, and you can see temperatures in the northwest area fall back to near 20. Tomorrow we'll actually see the freeze line advance to the northward, as we'll have ongoing precipitation, some freezing rain and rain across southern areas. Probably won't see much above freezing there in the very northwest portions of southeast Texas, and that's one of the reasons why we're expecting more freezing rain across that area. And then Wednesday night will fall back to near freezing in some of the coastal counties and below freezing inland. Thursday, going to struggle again to get above freezing in the northwest areas, but most of the area does see temperatures above freezing as precipitation ends early in the day on Thursday. Then we get a surge of cold air coming in Thursday night, and we're going to see temperatures back in the teens in the northwest areas, and a hard freeze for almost all inland areas. So the ice accumulation forecast, this is still a little bit of a tricky forecast. Again, it's from freezing rain for the most part. It's possible there could be a little bit of sleet very late in the event, but again, mostly freezing rain. And that's generally, we believe it's going to, on the southern end, going to be around I-59 from Edna to Houston, and then north of I-10 east of Houston, real close to the edge of Chambers County there on the northern side. So again, we've talked about this significant icing possible generally north and northwest of a Columbus to Conroe to Cleveland line, where a quarter of an inch or greater is likely. And when we look at some of these amounts across the very farther north and northwest areas, thinking more College Station to Huntsville, Livingston type area northward, this is looking like an ice storm. We might even see some areas, again, not all areas, but some areas seeing a half inch and maybe worst case, an inch in spots. So taking a look at our high resolution ensemble model forecast, kind of breaks down how this looks every 3 hours beginning this evening. So you can see 9 p.m. to midnight, we start to see some of the freezing rain develop in western areas, then it expands in the early morning hours to cover most of inland southeast Texas. And note that the darker green areas start to show up in those early morning hours, and where we could start to see accumulations of 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch during the morning there on Wednesday. And then it shifts kind of northward and eastward as we go through the day on Wednesday. And we will see some warming across central areas and even in some northern areas. And then the event tapers off mid-afternoon on Wednesday. So our high-resolution ensemble forecast is showing some fairly significant totals of ice there. And if you look at the 24-hour period from this evening through Wednesday, we could see, again, in spots especially, some areas greater than ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, kind of near and north of College Station, over to Trinity and Crockett. Those areas could see some very significant icing, Lake Livingston area as well. And then that secondary event, kind of the trailing precipitation in this event that may occur here on the very early morning hours of Thursday, looks really light, almost probably insignificant compared to what occurs tonight and on Wednesday. But nonetheless, we could have a mix of some light wintry precipitation and some very light freezing rain across central areas early Thursday morning. Don't expect even 1/10 of an inch, though, in this particular period. So we've been showing this, some time series for individual places. So you take a look at a place like College Station. Again, significant icing beginning late tonight and continuing on Wednesday. And you will see some warming on Wednesday, but unfortunately looks to only get into maybe the mid-30s briefly. So not much happening on the warming side there. We'll see significant warming as we get into Saturday. Huntsville, not a lot different. Again, pretty much mostly freezing rain in that event, but that starts tonight and goes through tomorrow, possibly changing over to rain briefly mid-afternoon before ending. And then again, a slight chance of a wintry mix kind of very early Thursday morning. Now, when you look at Houston and Harris County, the warming is a little bit more significant tomorrow, and we definitely will get above freezing. So this event there starts as some freezing rain, transitions to rain. And so we could see some icing, and it would primarily be on bridges and overpasses kind of in the morning hours tomorrow. Could see some on main roads that aren't bridges and overpasses, but that's primarily probably going to be northwest of the city. And then on Friday morning, we'll see a hard freeze again with a low in the mid-20s. In Galveston, the good news for Galveston is it looks like all rain there tonight and tomorrow, with temperatures possibly even reaching 50 degrees there. So it's getting some decent warming along the coast. And then on Friday morning, the low reaching right at freezing. So again, summary and impacts. Another winter storm is approaching, and will begin this evening with the bulk of the freezing rain occurring overnight and during the day on Wednesday. Significant icing and ice storm possible northwest of Columbus to Conroe to Cleveland, where greater than 1/4 of an inch is possible. Unfortunately, probably see additional power outages and additional icing on roadways. Southern portions of our warning area more likely to be of a travel impact instead of limbs coming down on power lines, where the accumulation should be 1/10 to possibly as much as 1/4 of an inch. And then another hard freeze for all inland areas on Friday morning, and a significant warm up this weekend.